Hello everybody, it is episode 2 of Wheel Trouble's Let's Play Myst 4 Revelation, and we get to wake up with concussion. Yes, that is what happens when game developers assume your character is concussed. They come up with weird things like this, because I guess they've just never had concussions before, I don't know. Boy, that didn't last long. Anyway. So we had just done the water wheel. We were chasing Yisha to that room over there, and didn't work out so well. So we need to get our bearings and find a way across to the other rooms, just to check up, see if anyone's actually still here. Make our way across the atrium. And then we'll cross the other atrium here. And the next thing Atris had on our list was the crystal viewer. Maybe that'll shed some light on what happened. And good, the elevator still has power. You can tell by the weird glowy light at the base there. Okay. And I can't see. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens when we go down. Let's just see what we can find here. Well, at least we know the elevator's not blocked off. That's something, at least. Not much of a view right now. Okay, so we have made it up to the other platforms. Good, so everything is still accessible. We didn't lose anything other than that one bridge. Oh well, Atris will just ride a new one, right? Okay. Speaking of which, he said he wouldn't be long. Where the blue blazes is he? It was mid-afternoon. It is very much night now. So, since he's not here, let's just take a stroll into his bedroom, why not? And here we can see a painting of him, Sirius Akinar, and Catherine, and another fireplace. Ooh, an amulet. Wait, that's Yisha's amulet, isn't it? Okay. That's a hell of a lot of intrigue. So Yisha is probably not here. She's been kidnapped. Okay, what does this say? The ending has not yet been written. Tomana. Glowy crystal?
Thank you, my love.
For what?
For everything. For this. And for showing me again and again that no matter how many mistakes we've made, the ending has not yet been written.
Oh, how sweet. So, this is a nifty little feature of this game. Not only can we take pictures to remember puzzles with, we have the amulet that also shows us things that in the same way that it showed Yisha. So maybe she wasn't off her rocker after all. Still creepy for that little girl, though. All right. So let's go ahead and head to the crystal imager room just to see what kind of leads we get. So far we know that Sirius and Akinar are going to be the two main antagonists. And, of course, like the good parent he is, Atris is nowhere to be found, and Catherine was off on vacation. So once again, in true Myst fashion, we are left completely to our own devices. Alright. Let's take a quick overview of the destruction here. Honestly, everything seemed to look okay, so let's move right along. There's the blown up imager. He did say we'd have to adjust the antenna on the roof. There's the security cameras. Can't really see anything on them, and it's not like anyone was monitoring them at the time of the event.
I will not risk having our home broken into again.
But cameras, my love? I'll feel so scrutinized.
I'll only place them in the most likely entry points. You'll forget they're even there. I promise.
Right. A lot of good they did. You still got broken into, Atris. So there's his map of the property. And a map of the antenna system, if I can get this to go back down. So we sit in the chair, there's the telescope, and it adjusts the antenna. Got it. So into the not-so-comfy looking chair here. What does this button do? I stepped out of the chair? Why did that button step me out of the chair? Is this one of those things where I've got to point a certain way first? There we go. Nothing. Fat lot of nothing. Still nothing. I'm missing something here. If there's anything down here I need to adjust or can see or something. Ah! I guess it helps if you open the window. The fact that Atris can use this telescope to view other ages is something else. Okay, the mapping on this button is horrendous. If my finger's over the button anywhere remotely close, I should be clicking this. But it's Ubisoft, what do you expect? Alright, so we have these two little dials and a glowy crystal.
See the really bright one?
Uh-huh.
A long time ago, when your great-grandmother Anna first mapped this desert with her father, she looked up in the night sky and used that star to find her way home.
And for those of you who have forgotten the books, you'll remember that Atris's grandmother was actually from the New Mexico desert, out in the middle of nowhere. And so, when we get ready to see the cleft, you're actually on Earth for one of these episodes. Just aim at the big planet. I don't know that we need to aim anywhere else. We didn't get any specifics. This game is sorely lacking in a lot of specifics so far. It's just kind of huck and hope. This is one time I wish they could have just automated this chair. Fortunately, we aren't going to be spending terribly much time in it. We've done what we needed to do. Okay, moving on to some clues. We really need some clues here. Oh, there's his journal that he pointed out earlier. Ooh, crystal glows for this? Blank page.
I'm always surprised by how good it feels to return home after one of my journeys. In the day, heat shimmers off the cliffs, bathing me in unexpected warmth, and at night, gentle breezes stir the lake, and I often hear Catherine singing to Yisha. The sound of their voices fills me with such joy. I find myself wondering why I ever left. Perhaps I'm more aware of this tonight, having spent so much time alone in Rhyme. The trip was unavoidable. It's been weeks since I viewed Cirrus and Akinar's prison ages, and I needed to be assured of their safety. The crystal viewer did not show much, so I began considering how I might improve it. I'm now fairly certain I can achieve a tighter image if I redesign the mechanism itself. I have yet to tell Catherine of these plans. I do not wish to raise her hopes prematurely. After far too brief a visit with my family, I have returned to Rhyme to conduct preliminary tests. The frigid temperatures in this age are vital for the crystals to function, yet I find it increasingly difficult to work in the cold. Perhaps I can find a way to simulate extreme temperatures inside the viewer itself, so that I can install it in Tomana when ready. Tonight I set aside experimentation for a few hours to watch the lights illuminate Rhyme's sky. Their beauty is not dim since first I saw them. I could not fully enjoy the show, however, for it put me in mind of Cirrus and Akinnar and the months we spent here constructing the towers. Soon, what had been a happy memory for me was mired in regrets. I doubt I will ever know what caused my sons to become so greedy. I only know that when they looked at the ages described in my library, fantastic worlds that one could travel to easily simply by touching a book's linking panel, they saw only dreams of wealth and power. They devised a plan, an evil plan. When my back was turned, they linked to my ages, plundered and destroyed them. I know Cirrus and Akinnar must pay a price for these crimes, yet it brings me no joy to picture them stranded on the 2 uninhabited ages I wrote to protect my library from thieves. I only hope that my sons will someday reject their wicked yearnings and find it in their heart to reform. After experimenting with several liquid gases, I have found a pressure variable that should allow the crystal viewer to function in Tomana. Tomorrow I link to Rilishan to enlist help from the Guild of Machinists. Catherine was unusually subdued when I showed her the new blueprints. She trusts that the viewer will work, but wishes we could visit our sons in person. I would like that as well, but until I'm convinced of remorse, I cannot risk their escaping. I was fairly certain the evaporator coils would work, and indeed, I was able to achieve a blurry image of Spire within the new viewer's blank book. Unfortunately, a more powerful suppressor is needed to stabilize the image. Guildmaster Andritas suggested that I install several geodes inside the roof of the observatory, and then use an antenna to focus them. This should amplify the clean frequency enough so that the crystal viewer can work. Success. Not only was I able to view both Spire and Haven, but I also saw my laboratory on Rhyme quite clearly. The crystal code for Rhyme was difficult to remember, having not had much reason to use it previously. I must make a full list of codes soon, but for now I will keep Rhymes close at hand. I always knew my sons had great potential, but today I saw something that truly amazed me. Cirrus is harnessing electricity. At least that is what I assume, for the viewer caught a brief glimpse of something I had never before seen in this age. It had to be man-made construction. A burst of interference destabilized the image before I could study the device properly, but its existence offers proof that at least one of my sons is making the most of his confinement, rather than wallowing in despair. The interference effect is curious. It has disrupted my viewing of ages on more than one occasion. Although I first assumed it to be a problem with the geodes, I now believe it to be subsonic in origin. I think the roof antenna is picking up wave fluctuations emitted by one or more ages. If this is true, I might be able to use the fluctuations to hear what is occurring in an age. I shall have to think on this carefully. It has been an exciting 2 weeks. Catherine, Yisha, and I have just returned from Rilishan, where I spent most of my time in conversations with various guild masters. I am now convinced the shape and color of the crystals gives them individual resonance signatures. By combining the resonance of 5 crystals together, I can discover a global pattern of emissions, a sound signature, as it were, that is unique to the age being viewed. Guildmaster Andritas assisted me in drawing up plans for a filtration panel that will enable the antenna to hone in on whatever wave fluctuation I want. I truly will be able to listen in on an age. Tomorrow I begin building the panel. I have decided to use Rhyme as its preset configuration, since that is the age which first enabled me to construct a crystal viewer. The panel is finished. I'm too tired to test it tonight. Catherine tried to hide it, but the sounds we heard coming from Akinar's prison age nearly brought her to tears. Once again, I had to reassure her of his safety. My words eventually convinced her, but I know she longs for more substantive proof. I fear she may take matters into her own hands soon. I must confess, I too long for more information than the viewer is currently providing. Tomorrow I shall link to Rhyme. I have an idea for an attachment, something akin to a moving eye, that will allow me to change points of view while using the crystal viewer. If it works, I may finally be able to see if my sons have reformed.
And there's the end of the book. Kind of nice not having to read through all of these. It's going to save me in the editing. Alright, so I can already hear some of you who haven't read the books wondering why in the world he would still be able to see the ages that he can go to through the books through a telescope. And that's actually a point of contention between Atris and Gen. Gen and a lot of the Dini had originally believed that they were gods, essentially, and they were literally writing these worlds and creating them as they wrote. Whereas Atris had strongly felt that all they were doing by writing were creating links to other planets in the universe. Therefore, and as this theory proves with the telescope and with the geodes, they're kind of just creating portals or wormholes to go from one place to another. It turns out they were right. And that was actually the key component to the downfall of the Dini civilization. You had the half that thought they were gods, and then you had the half that were more pragmatic in their approach. So, as we continue exploring, we have more writing utensils, pencils, and rocks all over the place, but since we know this place was primarily designed to be an observatory, it kind of makes sense. It's all rock-based. And I'm still wondering why our character is completely incapable of pushing drawers back on his own. Rolled up paper that we can't touch. Really, we can explore so much in this game. Can't seem to walk over into that little cubby, so... We do at least have the code for Rhyme, so may as well make the best use of it. And the cabinet for the crystals is at the bottom here, right underneath the static screen on the right. Let's see if we can't mess with this just a little bit, get a clear view. Glowy crystal?
Don't you see, Catherine? The new design means we won't have to go to Rhyme anymore. We'll be able to view our sons' ages from right here.
Yeah, if we read the journal, which we did, we already knew this. How does this work? So the top thing selects a crystal. And these are all the same crystals we had in Real Myst. So if I push this button, it just opens up with the crystal I'd selected. Cool. And if I start rotating the bottom dial, it should change color, I assume. Does it do it when I let go? Okay, so it doesn't change the active one, it'll change whatever I put in next. Okay. And moving on to the third color. Yellow. It was a tower piece. There we go. There it is. Just double checking my work here. Yeah. And the next one was green. And moving on to the last piece. Dark blue. And surely there's some button we have to push to see if we were correct. Oh, that cleared up quickly.
Friend, are you there? Hope you're getting this. Barely receiving you. Listen, there's a terrible electromagnetic storm here. I can't leave Rhyme until it's over. And I know what you can do. Go to the desk in my bedroom. Below the top drawer, you'll see a symbol. Press on it to open 2 compartments. The commentaries I wrote on Haven and Spire are inside. Oh, and tell Isha not to forget her homework.
Okay, so it wasn't completely a fit of bad parenting.
My friend, are you there? Hope you're getting this. Barely receiving you. Listen, there's a terrible electromagnetic storm here. I can't leave Rhyme until it's over. And I know what you can do. Go to the desk in my bedroom. Below the top drawer, you'll see a symbol. Press on it to open 2 compartments. The commentaries I wrote on Haven and Spire are inside. Oh, and tell Isha not to forget her homework.
So that's where we're off to next. We're going to go ahead and pick up the commentary for Haven and Spire, and apparently we're going to need to explore to figure out which of the 2 brothers actually did it, or if they both actually took Isha. And let's go ahead and see if we can't get into that secret compartment, and then we'll go ahead and call it an episode, and pick up with the reading of those notes in episode 3 of my Let's Play Myst 4 Revelation. Had to put that plug in there somewhere, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and take the elevator down. On second thought, let's go ahead and we'll end this with Catherine's journal. Not opening it, but we'll read Catherine's notes on this before we run off, not just trusting Atris. And we've seen his parenting methods, right? So, make our way to her journal, and episode 3 we'll pick up with her journal, and then we'll do the Haven and Spire journals as well. Anything special in here while we cross it? So what is this contraption anyway? A light?
This is only part of our family tree, Isha. If we wanted to, we could trace our lineage all the way back to when our ancestors first arrived in Dunny.
And the writing is all in Denise, so we definitely will need to take note of that. I wonder if there's a way we can get close enough to take a picture. Because we'll be needing that later. This was such a handy feature, and the fact we have a journal as well to keep track of it makes this so much easier. This way I didn't have to keep notes myself. I could just put them in my journal and move on. Moths to a flame. It is kind of cute that he put the family tree at the base of a tree. Whatever works, I suppose. No glowy crystals, so I guess it doesn't even matter. Butterflies and moths and various insects. Just different laboratories for different things. You know. Atrius University here. And what does this do? I am staring at a leaf. Oh, I get it. It's a microscope. Yep. So it's a fully functioning lab, apparently. Where does he find the time for all of this, anyway? And this door is still locked. Okay, and we're basically at Catherine's journal, so next time we'll pick up with Catherine's journal in Wheel Trouble's Let's Play Myst 4 Revelation. I'm your host, Wheel Trouble, signing out.